Before we really dig into this week's topic of strategy instruction, I wanted to give you a quick review of what we call executive functioning skills. For many of you, this might truly be a review. This might be something that you focused on in your professional development, your learning, your career, your graduate or undergraduate studies. And for some of you, it might be a little bit new. So I'm going to give you a brief overview here in this video and then let you go through the following slides before we dive into strategy instruction. In a nutshell, and I'm borrowing this description from an article by Gardner and Moran from 2007, but in a nutshell, executive functioning can be described as a hill, a skill, and a will. So the hill is what we want to accomplish, what we want a student to accomplish, or what we ourselves want to accomplish. That's our hill. The skill is what you can do or what you can learn how to do in order to ascend and conquer that hill. And the will is what directs our energy forward. So executive functioning skills are the hill, the skill, and the will in our students' learning. I think another term that I'm going to credit to a very dear friend who's in administration locally is this is what we do as teachers when we front load. When we teach our students and we have self-determination at the forefront and we teach our students more about executive functioning skills, we recognize it, we honor it, and we support them. These are things we don't always think we have time to teach, we shouldn't have to teach, or we take for granted. Executive functioning skills, when we acknowledge that there's a need and we teach to that need and we support that need, we are front loading the skills needed before we can even get to the reading, the math, the science, and the academic standards that we are expected to have our students master or learn. I want you to really think about how you use executive functioning. When do you use executive functioning skills? And how were you taught executive functioning skills? Think about that for a minute now, and then especially as you review the next few slides. I'll give you an example. When I was a brand new teacher 20, 30 years ago, I had to write IEPs. And it was the first time we wrote out goals. Before that, it was a checklist. And I learned how to backwards plan. I identified what the student needed to learn. So for example, if my student needed to learn to write a complete sentence, I wrote the goal. Jessica will write a complete sentence. Probably more detailed than that. And then I worked backwards from there. I identified the state standards that went with that complete sentence or writing. I then pulled her writing samples that showed me she needed to write a complete sentence. And I backwards planned my way through the IEP and checked for compliance as I went and made sure I had everything I needed backwards and forwards to document and show evidence for her for that need for that goal. We do it also when we consider elapsed time. So that's one of the hardest things to teach students, but it's something I think as adults we have a hard time with also. And I'm famous with my friends or with my family for saying, okay, we need to be at dinner at 7. Let's work backwards from there. It takes 45 minutes to get there, so we need to leave at 6:15. It takes all of us about 45 minutes to get ready, and I need to prep the things I need to take with me to dinner. So I need to start getting ready at 4. Backwards planning is an example of an executive functioning skill I use professionally, personally, and with my students all the time. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead, and since we're all at different points in our learning, you may already know about executive functioning, you may need a review the following slides. If you're solid with that, you're set to get into that strategy instruction piece. If you need more information or if you'd like more information, please let me know.